We are back for episode 5 of the Look It Now show. So, welcome back, guys. Hope everyone's doing amazing because I was so excited to hop on the mic this week and chat with you guys. And I got a fresh haircut if you're watching on video. So, I am feeling really good and I'm excited to dive deep into the topic of today's week. So, for the past week, I've been like brewing in my head what I want to talk about. And a big part of my life now has become wearing a whoop. If you guys are on camera, you can see I wear this like black band of whoop on my wrist all the time. I wear it on my left hand. Um, Whoop usually comes in a band. So if you're a kind of person who's like, oh, I don't know if I want to add this kind of accessory to my life, to my outfits, this might be something you want to think about. But that's what I was afraid of. It honestly took, I would say, like a couple weeks to get used to like this feeling on my wrist, like all the time. But once I did get used to it, and I wasn't really bothered by how it looked. Like honestly, like a lot of people like sometimes don't even notice. It just goes unnoticed, and like I'm wearing it for me. And but that's all to say that in terms of look, I really like it. For anybody who doesn't know what a Whoop is a wearable that collects your health data and you wear it like an Apple Watch all the time. Whoop was started by this person, Will Ahmed. He went to Harvard and he kind of, I think he dropped out, but I think he started this back in like 2011, which is like a long time ago. And at that point, we're talking about like more than a decade ago, not everybody was prepared for this kind of like technology, I would say. He was just a person with dream. He just stayed consistent, and there was a lot of hurdles with this kind of stuff, but he never gave up. And look at the Whoop empire now. I think they're over $10 billion in valuations, and I think they just raised a lot of money. I don't know, but and they're like really expanding, and they have even launched like a collaboration with the AI institute in Boston. I can fact check myself on that one. Let me see. I have my laptop right here. So Whoop has launched the Massachusetts AI Coalition in January 2026 to position the state as a global leader in artificial intelligence and keep the tech talent within the region. So that's to say that from this one single person that had a big dream in Harvard like a decade ago. And now to say that they're at the front end of pioneering this wearable technology with another front end technology like AI, that's just to say that it's crazy what happens when you follow what you really want to do. Again, I have a lot of admiration for this company in general, the way they operate and the way they kind of like put the best technology forward. So as you can tell, like there's a lot of like wearables in the market right now. There's Whoop, there's Aura, there's Garmin, there's Apple Watch, like at least these big four players. But I feel like they have a really high standard for their technology. And there's also like firmware updates that Whoop goes through very frequently. So I really like that. Whatever like new stuff they want to introduce, it's like an Apple update that happens in iPhone. So I really like that about Whoop. And yes, it's a subscription based model. You pay like $99 for the band itself, but then after that, it's like a $250 subscription per year. And so that's the only part. But I think the reason why it's subscription is because they're bringing you the most cutting edge technology for tracking your biometrics. So it's the price you have to pay to keep up with the most like the best of the best, I guess. And originally, I think it was targeted towards athletes and sports people, but now it's become like bigger thing in normal people's lives as well. You can start in a niche market again, but you can also like expand that to other markets as long as like you can make people realize that there's a need for it, and if they use your product they're going to be better for it. I have to say that maybe I wouldn't have been the primary target audience for Whoop like I don't know 10 years ago, but now because the way that they've marketed and the way they make everybody feel included and it's for everybody, like all the ads that I saw previous to buying Whoop, I was sold. I'm like, I really need this. Yes, all of that we will get into it, but I really want to preface this by saying that wearing a wearable is a tool, okay? You still need your intuition to guide you and how much you want to push yourself in the day and how you want to feel about sleeping in more or sleeping less, whatever it is, like let that data be what it is. And if you do want to get a wearable because you want to be more aware of your habits, your sleep, your patterns, your activity levels and your heart rates and your stress levels, I think it's such a great investment. But also you have to understand that your sleep score from just one night is not going to make or break your health. Like if you want to really analyze how you've been sleeping, I would say like go over at least a month of data and go week by week or month by month, even 6 months, because patterns are what are going to help you to make a bigger change. One night, one bad night, one good night is not going to make or break your health. It's always going to be pattern that consistently show up in the way that you design your life. I'm really grateful that I get to have it and I get to like optimize my performance and optimize my life some in some ways at least because I have it. It's more about optimization. It's about editing. It's about reevaluating. Your health is happening right now. Your health is happening every day. You wake up. Every day you go to work, every day you go to sleep, and the next day you wake up. Your health is happening every time you sit down for a meal. It's not happening in the teeny tiny 15 minutes you get at the doctor's office. Because they're gonna you're say, oh, I've been feeling shitty, and they're gonna, oh, okay, let's get a blood test done. And you're like, oh, it came out fine, but I don't feel fine. So, like, the doctor itself, they don't have a lot of context to go off of on. That's why these wearable companies are emphasizing that if you really want to know how your body is doing from just like a metric level on a day to day basis, you really have to wear this tool that can allow you that insight into your own body. And then you can reaffirm that with your own mind. Oh, yeah, actually, I've been feeling crappy. If you're the kind of person that's just like, oh, I really want to like start understanding my health a little bit more, I think the first step is absolutely to focus on in your intuition, see if you have right eating habits, see if you have right moving habits, and then you want to like slowly move towards being like, oh, I think as a wearable might help me to guide these decisions because I know how my body's performing on XYZ day. It's so hard to like start working with somebody one on one that they really care about you. And I feel like my wearable really cares about me sometimes because it's always sending me notifications, it's always updating my data, and I love it. So one of the reasons why Whoop was built like screenless is because they didn't want, as I said initially, it was designed for athletes. They didn't want the screens to be distractive to the athlete's game performance or whatever it is. So they were made like just like a band or a strap. So it would feel like more of an accessory, but it's honestly like tracking a humongous amount of your data. I started wearing Whoop like a year and a half ago. So 2024 December. So that's like a year and 4 months now. So like 16 months, I would say. That's a long, long time. And I've loved every day of it. So I remember the first time that I wore Whoop, it detected like an activity for me, and I'm like, cool, because I was playing pickleball and I processed it, and it's like, oh, like you have like all of these insights about your activity, like your strain level, your caloric burn, your steps counts, and your effort or whatever it is. And I'm like, oh, and then I went into like select the kind of activity that I did, and there's like so many activities to select from. There's like weightlifting, there's rowing, there's like all kinds of physical movements you can ever think of, like climbing, like dancing, could be anything. And I'm like, it's, and I've searched for pickleball, I'm like, pickleball's there, and I was so happy. I'm like, that's so freaky, like there's pickleball in there and I can like log my pickleball games. And so that was a go for me. Like if you're somebody who likes to do sports and likes to do activities outside of the gym, just know that Whoop can track almost anything. So over time, I feel like it's gotten better at like picking up my strength training workouts that are not as like like it's, yeah, yes, they're really strenuous for the muscles, and like, you know, you get a good burn, but your heart rate maybe is not as fast as if you're running, or if you're doing like a cardio based activity, or if you're playing like a game like pickleball. You know, there's a perception in your head of like, this is the kind of person I am, this is what I do almost every day, and this is how I move. It's like so much like built up in your head. I'm like, I don't want to like have this like perception built up like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely like walking a lot, I'm definitely like going to the gym a lot, because I want to like see it. like I really want to see the data. I'm like, what is the data telling me? What is the data pointing me? Because I'm like a scientist by training, so like I want to follow the data. That's all. And I don't want to like emotionally attach myself to the data. I did not know what all my Whoop would do for me until I bought the product. And I know that's a big commitment. So I really want to get into like all the metrics it gives you and all the ways that I have used those to understand about my biology and my physiology a better. The first thing I do every morning I wake up is fill out my Whoop journal. So the journal, you can track pretty much any habit that you personally want to. So I have edited my journal to questions that I want to keep track of, such as like, have I experienced bloating? Which, as a woman, that I feel like I do, especially like in my follicular mid phase, which is, again, my body, I know at least technically is, I guess, holding on to more estrogen, and having more estrogen can make you, feel bloated. So, and I've also had more bloating incidents like right at the tail end of my luteal phase. So again, those are things I want to keep track of. So those are some questions I put in my, menstrual cycle. Sorry. So those are some questions I put in my Whoop journal insights. I've put in like, have I seen direct sunlight the moment I woke up? Because taking direct sunlight is a really good sign of setting my circadian rhythm. After that, the number one thing that I'm really excited to see as soon as I open the Whoop app every morning is my recovery score. So you may wonder, what is a recovery score? So there are three kinds of recovery you can have on Whoop. You can be in the green, you can be in the yellow, and you can be in the red, which is the danger zone. I'm just kidding. So the green is your body is, and your body and your nervous system has been adapting to stress really well, and you really set up for success today. Like your body is able to take the strain, you're able to, really like push yourself a lot more. Yellow is like you're kind of like moderate recovery, so you are moderately okay to take some stress, but it'll be helpful if you can pair it up with some recovering activities like, meditation, breath work. Your nervous system is maybe more in the toll taking zone, so you want to deburden that. And given the kind of world we live in, where I am and you are probably surrounded by screens like all day long, like scrolling away, like that takes a toll on your nervous system. And that's one thing that I've realized, that, oh my god, my screen time, I think, I don't know if it is actually showing up, but I think my screen time might be showing up in yellow recoveries on Whoop. And that's just my theory. And that's just made me feel like, oh my god, like my nervous system really needs to, my vagus nerve really needs to be stimulated because this is not it. And the red recovery is like, something's really gone bad. Like, so I've only gotten red recovery like a few handful times in terms of like if something has gone really wrong. And it's usually been when I've gotten sick. So I've gotten sick two times ever since I started wearing Whoop. And the craziest thing is that every time I've gotten sick, Whoop knows, I think I'm sick today. And Whoop is like, makes sense. Your recovery is pretty shit. Like your resting heart rate is elevated, your skin temperature is elevated, your blood oxygen levels are low. I'm like, oof. That's like a whole doctor's appointment I got there, like right within like 2 minutes. So the way that the recovery score works, as far as I know, is that it takes in account your sleep score, how well you slept, your strain levels, and your strain, you can call it strain slash stress levels, and your heart rate variability, and among other things. So all in all, to say, like at the end of the day, when I do get like a green score, I am feeling fly. I'm like, oof, I cannot let this go. I cannot let this day go to waste. And even though on days I wake up with yellow recovery, I don't know what other Whoop users do, but I usually like still like to stick with my disciplined routine. Like if I have a workout plan, I'm gonna go do it. The green one, I would definitely say it is a placebo effect, where I really, like, if I'm like gonna go on a run, I'm really not gonna stop because I'm like, my body can really handle it today. On the other days, like, I really don't like let that affect me, but it's also kind of like a bummer to see myself like continuously in the yellow zone almost every day, because it tells me that I can sleep better and I can take care of my nervous system better. Because clearly, like with all this overload that I personally put on myself with all these screens around me, like I can take it down a notch and maybe help with my recovery and help with my nervous system feeling more calm, more, in the parasympathetic mode a little bit more. So that's one thing that, again, I just feel excited about looking at in the morning, because the Whoop coach uses ChatGPT as a backend integrated LLM. I personally feel good like talking to it as if I would to an algorithm like ChatGPT, and not an algorithm like an LLM or AI, whatever. So yeah, I really love that, and can really like just get advice and just like have it be a sounding board, and have it be a sounding board where it's like not hallucinating, and it's like really looking at my data to give me that advice. So that's pretty cool, honestly. HRV. We are gonna next talk about HRV, a score that I had no clue what it said. I just knew a higher HRV, which is so HRV stands for heart rate variability. A higher score indicates better adaptation of mind and body to the environment, and a downward trend could be indicating that maybe I'm not taking care of myself enough with good sleep habits and good nervous system regulation habits. Like other experts in this field, is that HRV is calculated in different ways on different like variable platforms. So use it as like a reference number, not like a be all end all. So for me, an HRV score looks like, a higher score definitely always matches up with like a green recovery, which is always fantastic. A lower HRV score matches up with like a yellow recovery for me on most days. HRV is really helpful because it really indicates like how well basically, as I said before, your nervous system and your body is adapting to the change in your habits and to the change in your environment. And I love the days I have a good and high HRV score. For me, a high HRV score can look in the high 80s. For some people, as I said before, like it looks different. Their high HRV score can look somewhere around over 100. And but for me, my 80s are good. So again, I don't think there's like an absolute in HRV. There's so much research that's to be still done. So I have been, usually in like high HRV score on my green recovery days. And my green recovery days usually fall a lot on my, like follicular phase of my cycle. And my ovulation, I would also say that is a green recovery score day. Because, as just females, we are biologically primed to be really healthy on that day, I guess. And like, and my skin is glowing, during my follicular phase, which I really love, which I am in right now. And honestly, like, sometimes, before I used to think that, that my HRV score or like my recovery will always be high in the follicular phase, or just because my body is primed to be really strong and really prepared during this time of my cycle. But it doesn't really work like that, because yes, your body can help you, but my habits still need to reflect that I'm taking care of myself. So if I'm having shitty sleep nights during my follicular phase, my recovery is going to go down. Like my body can only do so much. So I really have to support it as well. The way I view it is that during my follicular phase, if I am really supporting my body, if I'm really doing the things that really, keep my sleep in check, keep my stress in check, and just like make me feel like a healthier person overall. Like I'm eating good foods and all of the above things mentioned. Yes, I need to support myself, but also like my body is able to take care of me to that extent as well. So one thing that has really changed my life since wearing my whoop is that I always used to think that during your menstrual phase, you need to sit down and you basically try to avoid movement for 5 days that you're bleeding, which, it depends. Like if you have any sort of like, like conditions where, your periods are really horrible for all 5 days, do that. But again, I'm sharing my personal experience, and what I have found is that the first day of my periods, I have like shot up to like a green recovery, and I'm like, what, what do you mean? Because my whole of my luteal phase, like till the end of it, until I reach that menstrual phase, I'm like in the yellow. I'm like feeling really crappy, and then again, like my body feels like it's woken up like a new person today, and I'm like, why am I in the green? And I'm like, I must be getting my period. Like I'm finally out of this roller coaster of my luteal phase. So that's to say that as soon as I enter my menstrual phase, my body is getting so much better at adapting to my environment and to my stress levels. And I feel so good. The only thing that I don't feel good about is, of course, the cramps. My cramps are horrible on day one. So even though I'm in the green and I could technically take on the stress of the day and perform and whatnot, I choose not to. I'm like, I want to be in the bed. I want to be in the bed with a hot pack. I want to be eating, nourishing foods. I want to be like really taking care of myself. And I cannot move because my cramps wouldn't allow me to move. But anyways, day two, my cramps have gone down to normal a little bit more, so it's not as bad, but the bleeding is still heavy. But day three and four, I am like ready to take on the world. Like at that point, it's still like it's just the blood, but like overall, my symptoms from the roller coaster, the demon roller coaster of the luteal phase, have healed. Honestly, my body is feeling so much better. So, and ever since I started wearing my whoop, my data shows that because I am in the green. I am feeling much better. My HRV score is better. And again, all of this to say that I have found that whatever my misconception was before about my periods, I really did not need to keep up with that because it clearly shows that my body's gonna adapt much better as soon as I'm out of my luteal phase. So your hormones that were really high during your luteal phase, like progesterone and estrogen, and like they're doing all of the things and giving you PMS or whatever. Now that they've come down, so you finally are off that roller coaster of hormones, and now you can like start to like gradually like feel like yourself again and like feel like you can regulate yourself a bit more. That's exactly what I found by wearing my whoop. There's so much research that still needs to get done, but in the meanwhile, when doctors don't have the answers of why you're not getting your periods off, or maybe when doctors don't have the answer of why you're feeling crappy during your luteal phase, which, it's, I'm so pissed, but like they're always like, it's like a normal thing for us to accept, right? Oh, like feeling bloated, getting acne, like shedding hair more, feeling stressed, and, having all these weird symptoms through like different phases of your cycle. We can rely on somebody like a wearable. At least I have been able to rely on my wearable Whoop to get that answer. So another thing that I love about the Whoop is the sleep score, guys. One thing that I just do know for now for sure, that my sleep score is both the amount of hours I need in bed and also the consistency. But more, it's consistency. Like that's why they call it beauty sleep, because you cannot make and force your body to do everything in that, like 4 hours of sleep you're gonna get, because you already made it miss the timeline of what it was supposed to do at 11 p.m. because it was your regular bedtime. So that's to say that consistency has again and again been proven, even in studies, to show that how it's the one of the bigger indicator of a good sleep score. And like sleep is like oh my god, like I cannot emphasize this enough, but like you hear people saying how important sleep is, and sleep is going to be the number one predictor of health. So like for me, I view it as gold. Like, will you ever miss out on gold in your life? If I were to give you gold, will you ever miss out on gold? So if you have the chance every night to go to sleep, that's gold. Like that's gold for you. Like the things that happens in your body while you're sleeping, they are unbelievable. Like literally, like trash is being taken out of your cells. And again, if wearing my Whoop has taught me anything, is to really keep my bedtime and wake up time tight. Do I always do that? No, but it's just good to know that my recovery is being shit because I've been like sleeping very inconsistently, and the only thing that bugs me about my sleep routine is my consistency, and that's the one thing that I would personally like to focus on more. Okay. One more thing that I've noticed is that, I'm the kind of person who never really took part in like a big culture of alcohol. I have done it time to time again, like, occasionally, but it's not something like I really need to like, do on like a weekly basis in my life, or like daily or anything like that. Like it's like rare occasions where I'm really feeling good, I'm really feeling grounded, and it's like a time to like really like loosen up. So like alcohol, like we all know, like at this point, like every like health expert that's coming, no amount of alcohol is good for you or whatever, which I kind of like, again, like I don't have a big say, like you do your life however you want to, but I also know that, as the studies done by Blue Zones, which is that the number one predictor of a long and healthy life is the relationships you have around you. So take that as you will. But on days that I have taken alcohol, like I log it into my Whoop, and I've seen that the next day I wake up and my sleep score can be a little bit poor if it's like during nighttime that I had alcohol. My HRV is lower, and also my sometimes like my blood oxygen level has been low. By seeing this data after consuming alcohol, I'm like, yeah, like my body really doesn't feel good on it. Like, it's something that's in your head. You're like, oh, I'm never drinking again. And then I'm like, oh, like my body actually doesn't feel good on it. Like my physiology is not adapting better. Like it's not a favor I did to my body. Whoop also like tracks like your calorie burn, which I honestly have never paid attention to ever since I started wearing Whoop, because I'm like, it's so much more nuanced than that, right? Like it depends like on so many more things than just like your, yes, it has my basal metabolic rate and whatever like function it uses to calculate that, but also then it has this like, like the activity caloric burn that I did during that day. How individuality is such a big part of how you consume and like release energy, and how much you absorb and how much you don't. So I really don't like to view it as like a mathematical in and out formula, and like the mammalian metabolism is so complex that we're still doing so much research to understand it. And yes, we have come so far, but also like caloric burn is just a part of it. And i I don't see the need personally for me to like watch it. So if you're somebody who's like worried about seeing it on your tracker at all, like don't be, because like just ignore and like go on about today. So again, I like love wearing my Whoop, because by investing in this variable, I have invested in the identity for myself that I am a healthy person and I take care of myself. This action is showing my brain subconsciously, consciously, in whatever you want, is that I take care of my health, I listen to my body, and I'm going to use this tool to take care of myself even better. And I'm not going to like like be like a deer in the headlights where I have no clue what's going on with my body. All in all is to say that, like it's like GPS for my health, but it doesn't totally mean it's the complete GPS. My complete GPS still lies in within me, my mind, my consciousness. And I really still want to keep on honing in on my own intuition. I hope this episode helps in a way that you can take some information back to your own life, maybe try to apply it. And I just like it's so much become like a positive thing in my life, and I think it was only fair and about time that I share such a big positive part of my life with you guys. And I hope like in any way that it helps you, if there's a takeaway that you're like, wow, I really liked what you said there. And what is one thing that you're going to start working on after hearing this episode? Is it going to be your sleep? Is it going to be your activity levels? Is it going to be your nutrition? Is it going to be your menstrual cycle insights? Are you going to start cycle syncing? Whatever it is, I know I'm personally going to start working on my sleep a little bit more. It's the study I mentioned I want to start doing on myself with this variable, which I can say is magnesium. I want to start taking and like see with or without, and get back to you guys. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, and I am really gonna like take advantage of the Whoop as I have it, as I'm wearing it. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I really enjoyed chatting it up with you guys